Welcome back to the Ruch YouTube channel. In today's class, we'll be learning how to make this beautiful sleeve. It's very simple to make and it is beginner friendly. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so to make this sleeve is very simple. Okay, it's like you fold for your normal basic sleeve. So for me, the armhole measurement I'm working with is 15 inches. So normally if you are folding this for your basic sleeve, you divide the 15 inches into two before you put it on fold. But in this case, because there's going to be gathers on this sleeve, I'm not going to be dividing this measurement. I'm just going to use it like that. Okay, so I have my 15 inches here. In fact, if you want more gathers, you can even decide to add more to it if you have enough fabric. Okay, you don't have to use that 15 inches. The more fabric you use, the more gathers you have. So now let's say I'm working with the 15 inches that I have. That is going to be my breadth. And remember that, okay, I have 16 inches here now. And remember that it is on fold, which means if you open it up, it's going to be 32 inches. So for the length, it depends on the sleeve length you're working with. I want to work with a full long sleeve. So the sleeve length I'm working with is around 20 inches, which is here. But because I want the sleeves to have like a little ball effect, so I don't want it too flat, I'll be adding enough room for the sleeve to just bounce a bit. So I can add like 2 or 3 inches to that measurement that I have. So if I'm adding 3 inches or 4, so okay, let me just make everything 25, because I'm still going to hem it on this side and then I'm going to sew it to my armhole on this side. So if I have 25 inches there, I'm going to take my ruler and then rule it straight like this. Okay, so this is all the space that I'll be needing for my workspace. So like I said, it's a very simple sleeve and I'm just going to be using like my free hand for this sleeve. So here I'm just going to be curving it a bit. I can measure like 4 inches on this side as my calf's height. So from here now, I'm just going to be curving it all the way to the upper part like this. And once I curve it like that, I'll go in with my scissors and then I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so for this sleeve, you'll be needing an elastic. I'll be adding an elastic to this. Okay, so now I have my sleeve. So like I said, the sleeve has like a ruched effect on the hem line. Okay, so this is the hem line. So on the hem line here, it has like a small gather effect on the hem line around here. So from my hem line here, I'm going to measure like 5 inches from the hem line upward like this, and then I'm going to make that 5 inches into a straight line also. So I'm measuring 5 inches round, and then I'll take my ruler and then I'll make that into a straight line. So after making that into a straight line, I'll fold it into two to note my midpoint. Okay, so I'll fold it into two. This is my midpoint here, and then I'll open it up again. So I have the mark here and then mark it well. This is on the wrong side, mind you. I'm doing all this on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so the ruch effect is going to be around here. So now you're going to take your tape rule and take the measurement of that place round here like this. Okay, so I've measured this now and I have around 9 inches. So the 9 inches, I'm going to be removing like 1.5 or 2 inches because I want it a bit firm. So let's say I'm removing 2 inches, I'll have around 7 inches. So once I have this 7 inches, I'll cut it off. Okay, and this is going to be my elastic. So now remember, this is the place that I want to pass this 7 inches elastic, and if you spread it like this, you will see that this elastic is so small for what I want to gather here. So this is how you are going to use it to gather it. So I'm going to note the midpoint of my elastic. Remember, the elastic is open like this, so I'll fold this into two to know the midpoint, and the midpoint that I have, I'm going to place it on the middle here. So that was why I got the midpoint on the fabric, and then I'm going to hold that place with a pin. So which means this side of this elastic is for this side, and this other side is for this side. So the next thing I'm going to do is to manually gather this. Okay, so now I will form like pleats or gather on this elastic now, and then I'll be holding it with a pin. Okay, so you can do either pleats or elastic or gathers, and then as I'm doing this now, I'll be stretching my elastic, and I'll make sure I spread it evenly. So I'll do it and spread it to see if it's reaching it. It's not reaching the end point here, so I'm still going to do more pleats. Okay, so I'll do this also again on this side, and then I'm going to check. So I've checked again now, it's not up to it, so I'll keep gathering it as close as possible so that I'll have my desired length. Okay, so if you gather up to this place and it's okay, so I have what I need now. You can see it's exactly the same size now. So now I'll take this to the sewing machine, and then from here I'll start sewing, and then I'll be dragging my elastic and then sew on top of all this. So before you do this, if you're a beginner, you may want to hold this gather with stitches first, but if you can sew it straight, you just need to sew and start dragging it. But if you know you cannot, you can hold this place together with a stitch for you before you decide to gather them. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So if you finish with this side, the same thing we did on this side, we're going to do that on that side too. So I'm going to take it to the machine now. I'll sew it, then bring it back to show us what we have. Okay, so I've gone ahead to gather it. As you can see, this is what it's looking like, and this is it on the right side. You can see that it is ruched. So the next thing to do now is to run a gather stitch on the upper part here, and then I'm going to pick one of the threads, and then I'm going to gather it back to my armhole size. Remember when I was doing this, I didn't use my actual armhole size. Instead of dividing the armhole by 2 and then putting the fabric on fold, I decided to use the actual measurements for everything. So now what I'm doing now is trying to gather it to my, remember this is just a tutorial and I'm just doing the sleeve, but if you are to be doing it for an actual tutorial, you check and measure around your armhole to see that you have the 15 inches that I started with in my own case. So I will check now. I still have more, so I'm still going to gather it more. So I'm going to make sure to gather it till I have the 15 inches that I need. So once I have the 15 inches now, I'm going to stop gathering, and then I'm going to put the side seam together here now, and then I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew. So this side now is what you're going to be sewing to your armhole. I'm just going to put this on the mannequin so that we will see what it looks like. Okay, so now I've gone ahead to sew it on the side seam, and I'm going to turn it out. So you need to hem it on the hemline also, and then I'll turn it out to see what we have. Okay, so this is our sleeve. I can see how beautiful this is looking. It's very nice. I used the satin fabric for this, and I don't even use up to 1 yard for half yard for this. It doesn't consume too much fabric, and it is really lovely. So imagine this on even a basic top or a basic dress. It should just make it elegant. I'll just take this to the mannequin now and put it up on the mannequin so that we'll see what it looks like. So this is our sleeve. This is the gathered upper part of the sleeve, and this is the volume that we have. You can increase it if you want more volume, and this is the ruched part of the sleeve. You can see it, and you can see how simple it is to make this. It's a very simple sleeve. You can put this on your basic bodies or whatever it is that you want to put it with, and to just bring out the beauty of the dress, because the sleeve is kind of bogus and it's very elegant. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, let us know in the comment section. Like, share this tutorial with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.